Back again here at the Green Room of Perform 2022, and there was never a chance that I was not going to grab this absolute superstar for the very quickest chat. Layton Williams is in the building! Oh, listen, you are an icon, you are a legend, you are a performing superstar.
Stop.
Like, what is stopping you? Nothing is stopping you.
Nothing is stopping me, and I genuinely do love it. Like, I am exhausted. Like, today has been a ride. But honestly, like, it fills me with more energy, like, the more I do, and the more classes I take, and the more performance I do feel very international when I come across the sea as well. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, oh, I'm in Ireland. I'm in Dublin. International love, and I just love it. The energy here is really unmatched. It's beautiful. So,
well, look, speaking of international, like, you know, you've done it internationally. You've done the LA, you've done the tour, you've done the massive show. How was that experience for you? And is it different being there than in the UK?
I've got to say it is different, and it was amazing. Like, it was a dream come true performing in America, period. But then performing in Los Angeles, it never was somewhere that I thought I would work in theatre. I always thought, you know, one day I'm going to go out there, I'm going to have my movie moment, I'm going to have that Hollywood vibe. But to go out there and do a show that is so perfect for me, and at a point where I was so comfortable in the part, you know, I was buzzing under. When I say buzzing, I was on my scooter. Yeah, I was buzzing about, and I would be like driving underneath like my face, plastered around Los Angeles with all these other movie stars and different things. And I just thought, wow, like how have we got from a little small town boy to being here in LA? It was really magical.
You have, as a person, from what I've, you know, we spent small time together when you were here 2 years ago and small time together this time, but you just seem to come across so much more almost content in yourself and in what you're doing. Not that you weren't before, but you were living on a high the last time when you were here, and you're still living on a high. You just seem to have settled. Is that, am I feeling that, or
you
is that
really are? Did you know, it's funny that you say that, because in myself I feel that too. I'm calling this just my new era, and you know, there's been so much change in my career and my personal life, and I'm just very much so just like, like, you know,
take a deep breath,
enjoy the moment, say yes to the right things, don't exhaust yourself, and enjoy the ride. Like, life is so precious. We have to keep reminding ourselves this, and I am like, very much so, I'm not going to stress now about things that are beyond my control. I used to have a lot of that energy, and, you know, not to get too deep into it, but it's giving very namaste. It's very mind, body, soul, everything just in check, so then you can really enjoy the moments that you're living for. You know what I mean?
I hear you. Did you feel like that, because you were saying that earlier on, and we were chatting about that before we came live, that the no and the yes is a hard thing to do? Was that COVID that kind of did that? Because I'm like that as well. That I say yes to everything now, because I'm always terrified that I'm going to be back there 2 years ago, where you were saying yes to everything because there was very little on the plate.
Literally, I think.
And as a performer, like, you know,
I think it taught us to kind of realize that life is, like I said, life is lifing, I like to say. You know, when you're booked in, what did you say earlier? Booked in, busy, stressed, and blessed.
Busy, stressed, and blessed.
I'm obsessed with that. Booked, busy, stressed, and blessed. That is like the perfect, because yes, it's booked and busy, but it's stressed,
but blessed. But we're still blessed.
Yeah.
It's like we want to complain, but then we also have to take it back.
Put it back.
Because we're like happy.
COVID taught us to really appreciate the people that we have around us, check in with the loved ones, you know, so that was one tick. And then also, like, you know, when I'm working, I never took it for granted anyway, but like I was playing this dream part, and I was about to go on the road and take this part. And one of the most, you know, my contract was tight and right, and I'd worked so hard for all of that. And it got ripped away from me a few weeks in, and I thought, really? And I never did, but now I do not take a second for granted when I get to go up on stage and I get to perform, because you never know when that moment can go again. So I'm just very much so like, you know, living for the fantasy. Like, literally this week I've been in Italy, in Venice. I've been in Paris, in France. I'm now here in Dublin, in Ireland. I've been to London. I've been to Manchester. I've been to Sheffield, literally in a week.
And she's the cover girl, by the by. We have to discuss the Attitude cover.
I can't find anywhere. Did you see my post?
Oh my God, what?
In the airport, I literally was so sick of it. So I can't find my cover of Attitude, okay? Don't know what's going on. I'm not shading them, but it's scarce. So I literally just open it to the page where my photograph is, and in the WH within the airport, and I just plopped it. I'm sick of this. So when I get to the airport now, I will be doing exactly the same thing.
You are living a dream in all these different opportunities that are popping up. Is there something on the Layton mood board that you're like, boom, that's it? And it can only be in the next 2 years. I'm asking all these guests this as well. That as performers, we can't focus on what's going to be in 5 to 10 years' time. We have to just focus on the now and what's coming closer to us. Is there something that you'd like to do? Is there something that you want?
Do you know what? I really had the most beautiful experience in my last job with doing Bad Education, coming back 10 years later, feeling very, settled in myself. And I got to wear so many different hats. I was in the show, as a front runner and literally, leading the show this time around as a teacher, Stephen, aka Mr. Carmichael. And I also got to write on one of the episodes. I was one of the co-writers. I got to be in a writer's room for the first time, coming up with all the ideas and the plots with an amazing group of talented writers. And I'd never written before, but I was very much like, well, I can do that.
Yeah. Like, we all speak English. We all have words.
Let's go. Well,
you're
ish here. Joking. That was shade. Joking. Honestly, you should see me trying to spell some of these Irish names. I was like, child. There's so many piles of just errors.
That's the game we're going to play later on. Holding up a name and seeing if Layton knows.
Oh, so funny. But more of that, more put myself in positions that I would never have expected myself to be, and then potentially, hopefully, thrive. Yeah. And I don't want to give too much away, but my episode is, you're going to be gooped. It is so special for me, and the collaborations and the stars that we have booked in that episode as well, it's giving cameo. Okay. Big old cameos, and that's all I can say.
Okay, that's exciting.
So I think more writing on projects that I can, see myself. I'm not going to say I can write on X, Y, Z. It will be something that I'm clearly, in that vibe of. And yeah, doing different things and pushing myself.
Is it important to have all the different hats like you've said there? Because maybe as a lot of performers will think, oh, I just need to be a dancer, I just need to be a singer, and maybe a bit of acting. But now in this day, everybody is doing the triple, quadruple, and
be threat. Because
all of it.
Then if you've got your fingers in all the pies, then there's more opportunities that come. I'm giving it presenter. I'm basically like an influencer at this point. Like, there's lots of ways that you can create and keep moving and keep inspired and pay the mortgage.
I was just about to say, I was praying to God you were going to say pay the bills.
Do you know what I mean?
I was like, let's not lie, girl. We're all paying them down.
I did not beat around the bush, period. So, collect the checks and keep it moving.
And before I let you go, have you had fun here in Ireland for your second time around?
The best time. Here with my company, Pros on the Shows. Always a pleasure to be headlining, but to bring my team here.
And your team are super sweet. Your team are the nicest group of people, like, who walks through these doors. It's been such a pleasure to have you guys here.
So I'm so glad, and building these relationships, and then they just get tighter, and we really are happy to be here as well. So thank you.
Amazing. Well, look, I'm going to let you go because you're a busy, busy man. She's booked, busy, blessed, and stressed, as you've heard here. First exclusive. Layton Williams, you're a gem. Thank you so much for being here.